What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey. And today we're going to go ahead and do this NFL Week 9 odds, preview, and predictions, as well as some player props. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and give y'all a couple of those as well. All right? For the Week 9 slate that's coming up tomorrow. Yeah, I said tomorrow. The reason I do this at such a late time and late date is because I want all the odds and I want to know who's hurt, man, at the end of the day. And I'm pretty sure you want to know the same thing. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. All right. So first game is the Miami Dolphins playing the Kansas City Chiefs in Frankfurt, Germany, starting at 9:30 in the morning, East Coast time. All right, so the line is Miami is getting 1.5. The line started off at Miami getting 3. I kind of liked it a lot better when Miami was getting 3. Miami getting 1.5, I don't know about yet. The over-under set at 50.5. The reason I have some apprehensions on this game right now is because, last 3 games, Miami is scoring 30 points a game and they're giving up 23 points a game. In this current situation where they're on the road, they're scoring 24.3 points a game and they're giving up 32.5 points a game. All right, now, when you're looking at the same thing, all right, vice versa, you got Kansas City basically playing at home on the road. All right, but in the last 3 games, they only averaged 19.7 points a game, and they give up 16.3. All right, now, in the same token, you look at it where they're playing away, they only score 19 points a game and give up 18.3 points a game. All right, so you're looking at 2 teams. One team, they usually have a total of like 53 to 56 points scored in one game when you're talking about Miami, and another team with Kansas City that only total, that's both them and the team, their opposing team. All right, they usually only average somewhere around like 31 points, 34 points, something very low. Okay, but that's because Kansas City's offense has been very stagnant this year. I mean, it's really only been Travis Kelce that they've been able to depend on. Everybody else is dropping balls and can't run a route. All right, Mahomes is putting it biscuit in the basket, and they're just not coming up with the catch at the end of the day. So the records, Miami 6-2, both Kansas City 6-2 against the spread. However, Kansas City is 5-3. All right, and in this current situation of on the road, Miami is 1-2. Now, when you're looking over under, it's the same thing, man. Kansas City's 2-6, and Miami's 5-3. Everything you see with these 2 teams are polar opposites. All right, one has a strong offense, the other one has a very strong defense. So if I was going to actually pick the game, I would have to pick the Miami with the 1.5 points. Anybody getting any points in this game, I would take. I would love to take it at the 3, though. That's where I would have preferred to take it at if I was going to mess with that portion of the game. My real thing on this game is I like the player props on this game. I like Tyreek Hill over 91.5 points. He is like the weapon that you know is coming, but you can't stop it, man. All right, when you knew people get in the ring with Mike Tyson, they knew that he was going to hit him with the hardest punches they'd ever felt in their life. And there's nothing you could do about it. Like, there's no getting away from it. It's going to happen. It's part of what's going to happen. And it's the same way when you're talking about Tyreek Hill, all right? And his elite speed and route running ability. Then when I also like Pacheco under 53.5 rushing yards. The reason I like that is because Miami's rush defense is actually pretty good. And with Christian Wilkinson coming back and the fact that this next player prop I like kind of leans into that. It's kind of how I see it. I think Mahomes is going to have to throw the ball a lot. And there's you got Mahomes over 37.5 pass attempts. Yeah, I think that's going to happen. All right. Not to say that this is a game that's going to be very high, like super high scoring. It's going to go to the sun or something like that. But at the end of the day, I think Mahomes is going to have to throw the ball. I think that Pacheco's not going to be successful. Those are the picks that I like on this game. So, to get to the next game, we got Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints. This game's 1 p.m. game. Okay, the odds is New Orleans by 8 to 9 points, depending on where you see it or who you get it. The over-under set at 41.5 to 41, depending on when you got it or who you're getting it from. Right now, last 3 games, Chicago Bears have scored 18.7 points a game and given up 20.3 points a game. So they lose by an average of 3 points a game in the last 3 games. And that's including with Tyson Bagent as the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. However, on defense, not on defense, however, they in this situation on the road, okay, Chicago Bears score 20 points a game and give up 29.5. So on the road, they lose by 9.5 points a game. And what's the line? 8 to 9 points. Now it's starting to make sense to you a little bit, all right? Because then we get over to New Orleans, and they average 25 points a game in the last 3 games, and they only give up 26 in the last 3 games. So they've been slipping a lot in the last 3 games. Situationally, however, they, and this is at home, okay, they average 16.3 points a game and give up 16.4 points a game. All right, so this has put them in precarious situations. That's why they're sitting at 500 at 4-4 right now, while the Chicago Bears are 2-6 due to Justin Fields being who we all thought Justin Fields was, or at least I knew Justin Fields was. All right, and them having to go to Tyson Bagent right now. So Chicago's sitting at 2-6. And when you're looking against the spread, Chicago's 2-5-1, whereas New Orleans is also 2-5-1. All right, so you're looking at 2 teams that don't cover, period. Like, this is a stay away game if you're talking about actually picking the game. Over under, Chicago has 6 games gone over, 2 games gone under. And in the current situation where they're on the road, 3 went over and 1 went under. All right, and this on the road is underdogs. All right, now when you're looking situationally with New Orleans at home, in the favorite role, they have had 1 game go over, 2 games go under, and for the season, it's 2 games over, 6 games under. So it's like, once again, polar opposites we're dealing with, just like we were talking about the Miami game and Kansas City game. That's why this is kind of a stay away game for me. However, I do like Derek Carr over 1.5 passing touchdowns when you are talking about a player prop for this game. So let's move on to the next one. So next one, we got the Washington Commanders at the New England Patriots. All right, odds for the game is New England by 3. Total is set at 40.5. This is a 1 p.m. game. Last 3 games, Washington scored 20.7 points a game and given up 22.7 points a game. However, on the road, they do score 24.3 and give up 24.3. So it's kind of like what's going on here, all right? And then when you look at New England on the last 3 games, they average 21 points a game on offense and 25.7 points given up on defense. However, in this situation at home, they only score 16.5 and they give up 27. So once again, you're looking at a team whose offense is just null and void. New England Patriots is one of the worst offenses in the NFL. I don't know what's going on with Mac Jones. I love what I'm seeing from Sam Howell. And because of all that, I love Washington plus 3. And I also like Commanders team over 19.5 points. So mess with it if you want to, but that's what I like. Now we get to the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Houston Texans. This is a 1 p.m. game. All right, odds for this game is Houston was set at, was giving up 3. Now it's down to 2.5. There's probably a few reasons for that. I'll tell you in a second. The over-under is 39.5 to 40. All right, now the reason that this line is moved is because you have several key injuries on the Houston side. Dameon Pierce will be out. They're also going to be playing their 4th-string center this game. Sheldon Rankins is most likely out. There's several injuries. Oh yeah, Robert Woods is out for Houston. For Tampa, you've got other injuries as well as people sick. Christian Izzian's sick. Logan Hall will be out. There's a couple other injuries that will be really not divulged until right before the game. All right, but let's get back to this. So last 3 games, Tampa Bay Bucks have scored 12.3 points a game and given up 20 points a game. So offense is doing nothing. All right. But when they play on the road, Tampa Bay Bucks score 21.3 points a game, and they only give up 16.7 points a game. So you're looking at a completely different team when this team is outside of Tampa. All right. And in the underdog role, now when you're looking at Houston only averages in the last 17.3 points a game, and they give up 16.3 points a game, so they win by average of 1 point. And then when you're looking at in this situation at home, they score 23.3 points a game and give up 16.7 points a game. All right, so right now Tampa's 3-4, Houston's 3-4. Against the spread, Tampa's 4-3, 3-0 as an underdog on the road, and Houston is 4-3 and 0-1 as a favorite. So how will they handle this, them being favorites again? That's why I like Tampa plus the 2.5. I like Rachaad White over 27.5 receiving yards. Once again, looking at the fact that Tampa is 3-0 against the spread on the road, it just tells you everything you need to know. They're used to being an underdog on the road, and they meet the challenge when the time comes. I'm not sure if Dave Canales will get this offense together and get this thing moving like it's supposed to move, but I know what that defense is going to do. Okay, so next game, we'll get to the Rams versus Green Bay Packers. And you have a major injury in this game. Matthew Stafford will be out for this game, so they will be starting Brett Rippon, Mark Rippon's nephew. Okay, and so the line is Green Bay minus 3, over under set at 38.5. Last 3 games, Rams have scored 21 points a game and given up 25.3 points a game. In this situation on the road, they score 23.8 points a game and give up 24.5 points a game. Whereas when you're talking about Green Bay, last 3 games, they've only scored 13.3 points a game. All right, and their defense is giving up 20 points a game. All right, so, and when you look in this situation at home, they're only scoring 16 points a game, and they're giving up 25 points a game. All right, so that explains why Rams' record is 3-5 and Green Bay's record is 2-5. These are 2 teams that are not very good. All right, against the spread, Rams are 4-3-1. All right, 1-1 as a road dog. Okay, and Green Bay is 3-4 against the spread, and they've never been a favorite. Period. So there is no situation that they have faced this right now with Jordan Love. All right, and with the 2 quarterbacks you got in this game, the only thing I like in this game is the Rams over 1.5 points. 1.5 field goals. That's what I like. Rams over 1.5 field goals. It's the only thing I would pick in that game. Maybe an under. Since the under is set at 38.5. Maybe something like that. It's probably going to be very cold, and there's no Matthew Stafford. So, on to the next one. We got Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns. This is a 1 p.m. game. The odds are Cleveland by 8.5 to 11.5. Line has jumped significantly. The total is at 37.5 to 38. So the last 3 games, the Arizona Cardinals have averaged 14.3 points a game, giving up 25.7 points a game. In this situation on the road, they only score 12.8 points a game and give up 25.3 points a game. Whereas Cleveland, in the last 3 games, they have averaged 26 points a game and given up 26.3 points a game. Now, at home, they only score 18.3, but they only give up 12.8. We're talking about a defense that only gives up, on average, about 7 first downs, 9 first downs a game, between 7 and 9 total. All right, so this is a dog defense. That's why they're playing in the dog pound. All right, and that's why that line is moved the way it has. Dobbs is no longer the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. He has been traded. So I think he's been traded to Minnesota. So that means they will be starting the rookie, Clayton Tune. I'm not sure how well that's going to work out for you against this defense in the cold. I also know that Cleveland's also not starting Deshaun Watson. He's still hurt. But at the end of the day, they're a better it's a better defense, better team, more weapons right now. So if I was going to mess with it, I would take Cleveland money line, but I'm staying away from that one. Next one, we got Seattle at Baltimore. Now, this is actually a 1 p.m. game, and this is probably the game of the week right here, all right, for a 1 p.m. slate. All right, because the odds are set at Baltimore giving up 6 to 5.5. The total's at 44.5. Last 3 games, Seattle scored 19 points a game and giving up 15.7 points a game. Whereas in this situation on the road, they average 24.7 points a game and they give up 17 points a game. Now, when you're talking about Baltimore scores a total of 31 points a game for the last 3 games and only gives up 15.3. But when you're looking at home, they score a little bit less, 27.3 points a game, but they also give up a little bit less, at 12.3 points a game. This is a dog defense when you talk about Baltimore, man. They've a well-coached team, but both teams are well-coached teams. Pete Carroll is doing his thing. He's got a 5-2 record right now, whereas John Harbaugh is 6-2 this season. Against the spread, Seattle's 4-2-1, and as a road dog, they're 1-1, and whereas Baltimore is 5-3 against the spread, and they're 2-1 at home against the spread. Over-unders. Seattle's gone over 3 times, under 4 times. On the road, it's 1-1. Baltimore gone over 3 times, under 5 times. At home, it's 1-2. All right, so at the end of the day, this is going to be a great game. I like my picks for the game would be Kenneth Walker over 53.5 rushing yards, and I would take Seattle plus the 6. I just feel like this is going to be a close game. If you can get it at 5.5, get it. If you can buy some points, buy some points. But that's what I would do if I was playing this game. Next, we go Minnesota at Atlanta, 1 p.m. All right, so you got Atlanta by 3.5 points to 4 points. The total is set at 37.5. The reason this line is moved is because of Kirk Cousins' tragic injury, tore his Achilles. So, season's basically over for Minnesota. I mean, Jaren Hall will be the starting quarterback, and at least they get to see what they have in him. And with this being Kirk Cousins' last year on his contract, you kind of need to see what you got in Jaren Hall. But at the end of the day, so let's get on to last 3 games. Minnesota scored 21.7 points a game, and they've given up 13.3 points a game. So they've been playing marketably well over the last 3 games stretch. They've actually won the last 3 games, to be honest with you. And in this situation on the road, they scored 23 points a game and only give up 17.5 points. But remember, Kirk Cousins is gone now. So this is a completely new offense. All right, there's no Justin Jefferson. He's on IR. Atlanta averages 18.3 points per game. In the last 3 games, they give up 21.7 points per game. When you're looking at what they do at home, they score 21.5, but they give up 19.3. All right, there's no reason why Arthur Smith should be able to muck this game up. They got Tyler Heinicke starting. And I like Tyler Heinicke in this game. Against the spread, yeah, Atlanta's 2-6 and Minnesota's 4-3-1. Minnesota's only had 1 game go over all season long, and Atlanta's only had 2. So that's 1 game over, 7 games under, 2 games over, 6 games under. Yeah, I'm seeing this game go under. I mean, that's just what's gonna happen. Be like 32, 33 points scored in this game. Period. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. This is going to be a battle. Minnesota's defense has stepped up. But like I said, I like Atlanta. Giving up 3.5, 4 points. I would take Atlanta money line is what I would actually take if I was going to bet this game. Now we get on to the next game. We got Indianapolis Colts at the Carolina Panthers. All right, the odds are Indy is giving up 3. The over-under set at 43.5. This is a 4:05 p.m. game, first 4 o'clock slate game. Last 3 games, Indy has scored 28.3 points per game, giving up 38 points per game. And when you look on the road, they only score 26.4 points per game, and they give up 25.3. So slightly better on the road than they've been doing in the last 3 games. Whereas Carolina, they only score last 3 games 20 points a game, but they're going to give up 32.3 points per game. Yeah, 32.3 points per game. But at home, they score 15 and they give up 18. Yeah, there's some slugs out there right now, man. Their record is 1-6 when you talk about the Carolina Panthers. Um, Indy's record's 3-5. Jonathan Taylor will be playing. They have been looking a lot better with the Anthony Richardson out and Gardner Minshew in. Just saying, a little bit more fluent offense. Minshew mania prevails. I mean, it's a ebbs and flows type thing, but at least you get consistency in the passing game. Right now, I would take Indy money line if I was gonna mess with this game. You know, Indy's 4-4 against the spread, and Carolina's 1-5. What more? And 1-5-1. I'm sorry. What more do you need to know on that? It's just I'll take Indy money line, taking the more experienced quarterback, the I just better coach team on right now, more weapons on the team on Indy. If Bryce Young had some more weapons, then I might pick him. But no, he needs more weapons right now, man. Next, we go New York Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a 4:25 p.m. game, East Coast time. Vegas is giving up 1.5. The over/under set at 47.5. All right, so last 3 games, Vegas has scored 11 points a game and given up 11.3. Riddle be that on that one. And on the road, they score. I'm sorry, not Vegas. The Giants. Okay, the Giants have scored 11 points and given up 11.3 points. Then when you look what they do on the road, they score 17, they give up 25.8. Vegas, last 3 games, they score 15.7, give up 24.3. At home, they only score 18.7 and they give up 17.7, man. This is a 2-6 New York Giants versus a 3-5 Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas is 2-5-1. And I'm sorry, Giants are 2-5-1 and Vegas is 3-5. Neither one of these teams cover. Their games go under though. It's like Giants 1-7. All right, 1 over 7 unders, and Vegas 2 overs 6 unders. So if I was gonna mess with it, I would have to mess with the under on this one. Under 47.5 seems like a deadbolt because neither one of these teams know what they're doing out there on offense. Just saying. I think that's a little gift from Vegas. Next, maybe to get you to watch the game or something like that. Next, we got Dallas Cowboys, which is the game of the week for the 4:25 slate. All right, at Philadelphia Eagles. Odds are Philly is giving up 3, over under set at 46.5. Right now, Dallas is giving up 24.3 points per game for the last 3 games, or they've scored 24.3, and they've given up 26.3 in the last 3 games. And on the road, they average 21.5 points per game, and they average giving up 21.8. So, get what you want from that. All right, Philly averages 27.7 points per game in the last 3 games, and they give up 22.7. At home, they score 33 points per game, and they give up 25.3. If I was to mess with this game, I would be messing with the over 46.5. When you're looking at against the spread, Dallas is 5-2 to match their record, whereas Philly is 4-2 and 1. Okay, against the spread. Yeah, I love the over in this one, 46.5. I think when you're looking at these two teams, at worst, last 3 games, Philly's totals have gone at 40, 50, almost 50 points per game. And when they're at home, it is well over 50. And when you're looking at Dallas is like 51 points per game last 3 games. 50 points for the last 3 games, 50.6. And then when you're looking in the situation, it's 42 or 43 points per game. So it's a good opportunity right there. If you can get you some points. But I expect some points to be scored in this game. All right. Next, we got Buffalo at Cincinnati. All right, so when you talk about this game, you got Cincinnati giving up 3, over under set at 50.5. This game's an 8:20 p.m. set game for Sunday night. Buffalo gives up or scores 21 points a game and gives up 18.7 points per game in the last 3. Whereas on the road, though, they do score 24.5 points per game and give up 19.8. So they look a lot better on the road than they do for the last 3 games. But when you're looking at Cincy, man, you got to throw out the numbers. I'm going to give them to you anyway, though. Last 3 games is what you really should be paying attention to. Cincy scoring 27.3 points per game and only getting up 16. At home, they're averaging 20 points per game and giving up 18.7. The reason I say you want to pay attention to the last 3 is because Joe Burrow's getting healthy again. And since Joe Burrow's getting healthy again, this team's turned into a 4-3 team. And Buffalo's only 5-3, man. So they're knocking at the door. All right. Against the spread, Buffalo's 3-5, and Cincy's 3-1. My plays for this is Josh Allen over 1.5 touchdowns. Joe Burrow over 1.5 touchdowns. And I like over 49 too in this game, man. I really believe that this Cincinnati Buffalo game is going to be some points scored in this game. Yeah. I like the over on this game too, but really like the Josh Allen over 1.5 touchdowns, Joe Burrow over 1.5 touchdowns. So for the Monday night game, we got the Chargers at the Jets. Okay. Chargers giving up 3.5, over under set at 40.5. Last 3 games, Chargers have scored 21.3 points per game, but they're giving up 21.3 points per game too. So what does that do for you? Then when you look situationally on the road, they give up 23 points per game, or they score 23 points per game, and they give up 27.3 points per game. Whereas the Jets last 3 score 21.3 points per game, give up 15 points per game. Then when you look at a situation at home, they score 18 points per game and give up 17. This is a 3-4 Chargers versus a 4-3 Jets, man. Against the spread, Chargers are 3-4, and against the spread, the Jets are 4-2-1. Let the numbers tell you what to do on this one, man. I like the Jets. You know, I don't think the Chargers can give anybody any points at all, even Zach Wilson. All right, so I'm rocking with the Chargers plus the 3.5, man. I mean, not Chargers, but the Jets plus the 3.5. Yeah, but I would probably buy some points on that if I was really gonna play it. Like, it's not a strong play on that Monday night game for you. But all right, everybody, that concludes everything for the Game Day with Trey podcast. NFL Week 9 preview, odds, picks, predictions, player props, all that. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe. I'll see you at the window. All right. Peace.